Hi, this is Matt from Audio Plugin Deals. Today we're looking at the amazing new plugin from Pigeon Innovations called Loop2Kit. Let's have a look at it. So what is Loop2Kit then? Well, essentially, the answer to that is in the name. You take a full loop and you drop it into the plugin, and from that it will generate a drum kit for you. Now this technology is not new. This has been around since the mid or early 90s with propeller heads. Their first product was Recycle. And if you're not familiar with that, basically what it did was take loops from an Akai or a EMU sampler and it would splice them along the transients, and then you'd have little drum hits from that drum loop. Since then, that technology has been implemented in most DAWs, and in fact, you've probably even used it. So if you think your DAW already does this, bear with me because this has quite a few little tricks up its sleeve to make it the go-to method for this kind of thing now. So the first thing we're going to do is drop in a loop. This is just a drum and bass loop. Drop it into the little circle here. And here we have four options. So the first one is for a full drum loop. So here in this one, the loop is going to contain kicks, snares, shakers, basically a whole loop like I said. The second one is for percussion only, and this is for solo percussion. So this is where there's only one single element in that loop. So this one is for when you have only hi-hats or only shakers or only the one kind of sound. The next one is again a second variant of the percussion, and this is where you have multiple percussion sounds. So here you might have hats as well as tambourines as well as shakers, essentially not just the one single sound. And the fourth one is melody. So you'd use this one essentially where there's a pitch element in the loop that you're importing. So for this example, I'll use drums because the loop that I'm importing, like I said, is a drum bass loop, which includes kicks, snares, hats, everything. So let's click on that. And I'm going to let this run in real time so you can see just how fast it is. I'm pressing the button now. Maybe 4 or 5 seconds, I think, even less. So really, really quick. Now, as you can see at the top, we have our loop at the top here. Let's play this back. This is what we imported. And as we can see, Loop2Kit has spliced this according to the transients. So far, nothing unique. To the right of that, we have sensitivity and groups. I'll skip over that for the moment and I'll come back to that. And then below that, we see where each of these hits is being laid onto a drum pad. And then have a look down the bottom and we can see there's one instance of this kick. So just remember that. Then we go to percussion. There's still only one instance of that. This percussion actually relates to this hit here, so I'll come back to that. Don't worry about that yet. And then if we move on to the cymbal, we can see that there are 4 elements of this hit. So what this plugin has very intelligently done, it has recognized that this cymbal is the same as, and I can tell because they're color-coded, this cymbal is the same as this one, and this one. So those 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4, are these 4 here. And this is the round robin instance of this. So if I press this D3, you'll see that this sample will first trigger, then we'll go into this one, then we'll go into this one, and then we'll go into this one. So essentially following this round robin playing. And if you don't know what round robin is, basically for every hit of a sound or every instance of a sound, there isn't just one recording, there are multiple recordings. And what that does, when it cycles through those, it gives an element of humanizing essentially. Basically just to add variation so it's not so repetitive and machine gun-like. Let's play back cymbal, and you'll see this go from this one, to this one, to this one, and to this one. There we go. You can see it scroll through and play all of these cymbals. Pretty cool the way that it's done that. And like I said earlier, because there are 4 sounds on the one pad here, that's the way that it was able to get those 30 or 25 or whatever hits consolidated down to only 12. Now I said I would come back to this one. That's because I think that this sound is all a kick and it's taken this percussion, basically it's misidentified a transient in there, and we want to correct that. So there are 2 ways to do that. First, we can reduce the sensitivity here. We can back this off and make the transient detection less sensitive. So now you can see that there are less hits being identified. But let's put this back up to where it was. I think it was about there. Typically, I find this works really well in the first instance. It has been very good. So let's go back and we'll find where we think that it's working. We know that there's an issue there, and we'll still come back to that. There's maybe an issue here as well, but generally the rest looks okay. And then the next we have is groups. So this determines, well, the grouping of these sounds into the pads. So basically the similarity of the sound. So if we reduce this all the way to 1, it has decided that everything here basically sounds like, in this case, everything sounds like a tom, which obviously isn't the case. So if we increase, let's go up to around there, then it's split out what it thinks is toms, different kind of tom, a cymbal, and a third type of tom. In my experience, I found that generally 12 works quite well, and that's actually the default. So basically I haven't needed to play around with this. So let's put it back to where we had it, which I think was there. And I wanted to show you this percussion hit here. And we'll also put this back to kick like it was. And now I think that this kick is also part of this. I can hear the high element there, but I still think that this is all one kick. So to do that, basically we just simply right click and it gets rid of that transient. So now we have this one sound all on the same pad. So now that we have it set up, we can go through and we can play our sounds with the benefit of having a round robin, but also not having multiple pads for each sound. So that's where the other methods basically fall short, is that if you splice a loop with say 16 sounds and then 4 of them are the same, then you're going to get multiples on different pads. You need to go through and delete the duplicates. You need to work out which ones are duplicates, whereas this does it all for you instantly. Then moving down the bottom, we have envelopes for each of the pads. We have pitch elements, we have filters, we have volume and pan, and then additional effects, so drive, and then transient shaper as well. To the right is just a visual display of where each of these sounds lay in comparison to each other. So for example, the kick is way out here, because that sounds nothing like this green one, which is a cymbal. Then next we have global, and here are obviously the settings that apply, well, globally, to every sound. So we have fade in, we have envelope controls, some character controls, so punch, saturation, bit of lo-fi as well, and then we have reverb and delay over to the right here. Then moving on to the next page, we have a sequencer. So here we can audition the sounds. Actually, let's go back and turn this reverb and delay down. And then to the left, we have our individual sounds. So we can go and we can build up our loop. So let's put a kick here. And, well, actually, let's do the snare first, which is this one here. And then we'll put the second kick in. Let's go there. Whoops. Just something very basic to show you. And then once you've got your loop in fact, I'm just going to increase the tempo of that. Just bring it up to what the original loop was. And then once we have our loop in, then we can rotate this. So we might want the loop to start on 2, for example. So my kick, we can shift everything over essentially. So to do that, let's go to rotate. And we can move them across, or we can bring them back. Just a bit of experimentation. Let's leave it where it was though. And then next we have randomization. So here on the density, if we turn this up, it will add some random kicks because we've got the kick selected to generate a new pattern for us. Actually, I quite like that. So as in terms of inspiration, that's really working. And then next we have swing, and that will move these elements that we've selected forward or back in time to give it a bit of a groove. Again, another humanizing technique. So when I adjust this, it's very, very faint, but you can see a little dot up here move. There's another one there actually, so that's moving each of these elements forward and backward in time. Let's do it on the kick, which actually I think is more visible. You can see this one here, this is moving. Let's put that back to where it was, and we'll go to cymbal, and we'll play with this when we play this back. So there we go, Loop2Kit from Pigeon Innovations, a really cool tool, and it's instantly become my new tool for this kind of thing. So much easier than using a DAW for this kind of thing. And then once it's in there, then you have all these workflow benefits as well. So go check it out, it's available now at Audio Plugin Deals. And thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.